Hi guys, Merry Christmas. I'm Peter Nardi from Alakazam Magic, and on this video you're going to learn some magic tricks that you can perform today, Christmas Day. This is a thank you for all your support over the past year, and hopefully you'll be joining us next year in 2018 for all the exciting things we have planned. So I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, a very prosperous New Year, and I hope you enjoy this video. Right, so let me show you my effect. I'm not going to perform it, but I'll show you exactly what it is. I'll sort of perform it as I'm explaining it. This is a little idea I came up with for a sort of card at any number type effect. I've given it a Christmas theme for this one, but obviously you can do this with written predictions. You can write the predictions in front of your spectator. You can send them in the mail a week before you do the trick, but I think it's a really nice trick, and it's got a lovely sort of visual climax to it, which you don't really have with cards at any numbers. So down here you're going to see there's a little piece of paper, and on this piece of paper I've made it look like the sort of joke you would get from a Christmas cracker. So you can either carry this around with you, or you can load it into a cracker. It's very easy to load these sort of things into a Christmas cracker. So on the piece of paper you'll see I've just written Merry Christmas, written a joke, and underneath I've written lucky numbers. All right, so let me go through what the routine is. The routine, at the beginning of the routine, I either hand out a Christmas cracker, or I hand someone this bit of paper, or this can be in my wallet. So, or you can write down two predictions and hand them out. I now introduce two decks of cards. One is blue, one is red. I ask the spectator to name any one of the decks. Now we're going to go into a sort of equivocate here, but it's a lovely, slick equivocate, because the deck I want to use is the blue deck. All right. So this is the one that I actually want to get out and use. I'm just going to make sure that I'm set up to do the trick with this. So this is the one I want to force. So I say to my spectator, I have two decks of cards. We have one red, one blue. Just name either one. If they say the red one, I say, perfect, do me a favour, take it, put it in your pocket. And as soon as they're doing that, I grab the blue one. If they say blue, I say, perfect, we'll use the blue, we'll get back to the red. Okay. Now, this deck here is set up in such a way, the deck is normal, but I have placed two false cards. I have one on the face of the deck, and I have one on the top of the deck. The false cards I'm using are the 4 of hearts and the 10 of spades. Now we are going to be performing in this trick what is known as the prophecy move by Bill Simon. Now the prophecy move usually works like this. You have one of your false cards on top of the deck. You have one of your false cards on the bottom of the deck. You hand someone a playing card or a business card or whatever it might be. They place it anywhere in the deck. You now spread, take the top half of the deck above their card, turn it palm up as you grab the card. This is all in the motion of turning this card apparently face up. Now this whole block goes to the bottom. Now what you've done in this process is you've turned the card they've put in face up, but you've also made it be sandwiched by the two false cards. All right, so that is the basis of Bill Simon's prophecy move. Now I love the prophecy move, but for a lot of routines I wanted to use it, but didn't want this extra card that people had to put in. So for this trick I came up with a prophecy move. It is still Bill Simon's prophecy move, but I do it a different way. So I can take the deck out, Now, because we're only controlling one card on the bottom and one card on the top, we can take the cards out, we can riffle shuffle the cards, you can show that they are all being shuffled together, and all I need to do is retain the bottom card and the top card. So all I do is, as I shuffle, whichever half, I always split the deck, go into my right. So I know I drop the left pile first, then riffle off normally, and just make sure I hold back the top card to go on top, and that will basically retain my two false cards. Okay. Now the way I do the prophecy move for this effect is I say, you're going to help me out. What we need is what we call a marker card. So just touch the back of any card. So they touch the back of, let's say, this one. I immediately go up and say, okay, so your choice, the two of hearts, that's going to be our marker card. And now I drop those on top. So I've done the prophecy move without this addition of having a sticker card in the pack and then going, oh, we need it the other side up. This makes perfect sense now, because we're going through and we're saying we need a marker card. Do me a favour, touch the back of any card you like. This one here, you sure? Okay, if you're happy, then the two of hearts is going to be our marker card. All right, so we're going to leave it there. We're not going to change its position or anything else. Now, by doing that, what's happened are the two cards either side are now our false cards. All right, so I'm going to go through that move once more. So we have a false card on the top, which is the four of hearts. False card on the bottom, which is the 10 of spades. And I say, in a moment, we're going to choose, or you're going to choose a card which is going to become our marker card, okay? And it can be any one of the 52 cards, so just reach in and touch one. So as I spread the cards, and they really can touch anyone they want. So as I spread the cards here, they touch, let's say, this one. This hand now, that's one of our false cards, remember, because that's the top card. This hand is going to turn palm down as I take their marker card, and the whole lot now gets turned over to show, so you've chosen a 10 of diamonds, and that's going to be our marker card. Just by saying that and gesturing like this, that is all the time delay you need to put these back on, to square them and to put them out of play. All right. Now you introduce your prediction, whatever your prediction is, and on my bit of paper, as you can clearly see, we have lucky numbers 18 and 27. So we remove the cards from this deck and we deal down to the 18th card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And the next one was 27. So we go 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. All right. Now, obviously in those positions in this deck, I have the duplicates of my false cards. So they go down. So I place these down without having without revealing what these cards are yet. And then we spread out and we find the marker card. No one's touched its position. And bearing in mind, if you would have put the marker card somewhere else, you would have had a different card. If we would have put the marker card somewhere else up here, we would have had different cards. But the cards we chose were the 10 of spades and the 4 of hearts. Okay, so this is where we were. You place that away, so all the focus is on here. And now we can turn these over to reveal a perfect match. A perfect match. And as a kicker, say these really do have to be lucky numbers on this slip, because any other number would have come up a complete blank every single card. Now, believe it or not, just having the blank deck is an amazing kicker for lay people. Absolutely superb. Now, just a little tip here as well. when I set up the cards, I always set the 4 as my lowest number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So we've got 18 and 27. They go on top. But now, because the 4 is our lowest number, as I'm dealing through, I know that when I put the 17th card down, it's going to be the 4. So when we're in this position now, so let's just say, for instance, it isn't, but let's just say that's the 4, that's the 10. I know that because the 4 was at 17, the 10 was at 28. So now, when we go into doing our prophecy move and the reveal, this is really nice now because I can split, and I don't need to remember what order these are in, because I turn over the top card, and if it's the 4, I place it here. If it's the 10, I place it here. So now when I turn these over, bang, we're going to have a beautiful match. Turn these over, and that's going to be a match as well. Okay, so that is my blank card or cards at any number, and I really hope you enjoy it.
Hi guys, and Merry Christmas to you. If you're watching this, is either Christmas Day or Boxing Day, so I hope you're having a great time, and I want to share with you a free trick. This is something that I've done on all of my online lectures. It's something that people love, and it's a very quick transposition effect. I think you're going to like it if you haven't seen it before. So this is the quickest trick you're ever going to see done slowly. So the 8 of hearts and the 2 of spades. The 2 is going to go onto the table. The 8 is going to go in my hand. The idea is to get the 2 from the table to my hand. Did you see it go? Leaving on the table the 8. And there you have the quickest trick done quite slowly. So, how does it work? Well, I'm going to explain that to you right now. So grab your deck of cards and let's go. Okay, so for this, all you need is a deck of cards and a double lift and a kind of a cool little switch. So I'm going to take you through this. The top card, it can be any card. The second card is going to never be seen. So again, doesn't matter. But the third card down, you want to be a contrast to that. I mean, that's a terrible contrast to two black 2s. So I want something that's red. Picture card would be good, like the Queen of Diamonds. Okay. This doesn't really matter, but if you want to get, you know, the kind of popping of the eyes where it looks like they jump, then it's kind of important, the contrast. So I have my Queen there in different card and my spot card. So if we go overhead now, you're going to see what's happening here. I'm going to take the top card, turn it face up. As I show this, I'm going to push over this indifferent card and get a pinky break underneath it. Okay, so this happens quite quickly. I turn it over and show it. At the same time, I get a pinky break and I drop it on top. So to them, all I'm doing is turning over the card. Okay, I'm just doing that. And I've got my pinky break just about there. I'm going to pick that up. But when I pick it up, I'm putting tension on the deck here with my thumb. You can see the gap. I come right in at the bottom right hand corner, but I slide my fingers and thumb up to the center and I clip it there. Because you don't want this to part. Alright? So, I'll show you this again. Take the top card, and I've already got my break. I go in the bottom right corner, up to the center, and hold. Okay? Now, all you need to do is hold this in a position that if you were to keep the thumb in position and extend your middle finger and first finger, then this would happen. Alright? I'll show you that again. So we're here. So the thumb, the pad of the thumb goes slightly further onto the card than the fingers do. It's like that. Okay? Which means when I extend those fingers, that gets pushed down. Because you're going to do a sneaky switch. So I'm now going to use this card to turn over my Queen. And here comes the switch. From overhead, this should look pretty invisible. As this comes down and is about to go face down, that's when, so I extend my fingers and that top card comes in. I'll show you that again. So just as this queen, that's what's happening with the queen, okay? That's what the left hand's doing, the queen's doing that, and that's happening with the right hand. So together, once put together, you should show the queen like this and say, look, the queen is going to go down on the table. And what I've done is I've deposited that indifferent card. So now the queen is here and the indifferent card is down here. Alright, so I'll show you that again. So I turn over, I get a pinky break, that goes on top. I go in, squeeze down, use this card to turn over the queen. And now just as the queen is about to land, I'm going to slide this card out and out jog it forward, and they're going to believe that's the queen. So in slow motion, okay, when done fast, it's pretty undetectable. Yeah. So now they believe the queen's down here, but it's actually up here. All right. And I'm going to place this 2 now on top. So there's a couple of ways you can go with this. You can either do a visual change, like a 12 change, where my thumb's in the bottom right, middle finger on top, and that's just going to turn over. Okay, like that. But you shake as it happens, and it looks like the queen jumps into your hand. Okay. Remember to keep them as one card. So that's the 12 change there. And then I'm ready to go. Or what I like to do, if we go to a wide shot, and this plays out if you're playing to more people, that's great if you're standing up, you've got people around you. But I like to come up here, show the 2, come down and point, and as I point, it changes to the queen. And what this will take you a little bit of practice, but I come up with this movement to basically show the same side 2 or 3 times. So they only believe they're seeing, it's weird, they kind of believe they're seeing the whole card, but they only ever see the face, if that makes sense. So from here, I come up like this. And I did make this into a change at some point, which looked like that as well, which is pretty cool. But if you do that, you need to pick up the double again in order to switch this last card out. But let me take you through the handling. So I'm going to have my thumb in the bottom left hand corner. I know the top camera's kind of twisted, so my thumb's in the bottom left, middle finger in the top right, okay? And my ring finger is basically going to do that, turn over the 2, okay? So ring finger comes up, and if it can't reach there, like in this case, then my first finger just pushes it down slightly so the ring finger can get it, and it's going to extend, okay? But you don't want this 2 side to be seen. So if we go to the wide shot here, here's what happens. That finger is going to come up and it is going to extend, but if on the camera now I did it, you'd see the 2. We don't want to see the 2. So try this in the mirror, right? You're going to extend it, but you're going to extend it just as this queen is about to go out of your eye line. So look, I'm extending it now, and you see the queen again. So now you see the queen twice. Yeah, so you see the queen. If I was to come straight up, which is what I'm doing, you would see the 2. So I'm going to do exactly that with the wrist, but this time that ring finger is going to just extend and turn it over. And the wrist again is just doing that. But if I add the twist in, you should just see the queen. So that's stage 1. You rotate once. And now I'm going to push with my first finger, because you're left in this position where the first finger's behind. I'm going to push with my first finger, and that's going to flip it again. Okay, so in your mind, all you've got to remember is the first time you do it, the ring finger is going to do that. The second time you do it, the first finger is going to do that. But it's the rotation of the hand that sells this illusion. So just as I come up to here, I'm going to do the ring finger. Yeah, and now my first finger is going to extend, but just as you're about to see the 2, my thumb's now going to go from being underneath to being on top. Yeah, So it goes from being underneath here to being on top. So from the front, my ring finger, as my hand comes up, yeah, so slow, this doesn't look so great, but up here, queen. And now as my thumb rotates to come on top, my first finger extends. So with those movements together, you say I've got a queen, and that's it, yeah, from down here to up here. Last time, ring finger, first finger. Okay? And now all I'm going to do is come down with the queen, because underneath is the 2. So in this case, they're going to see the queen, and I place it on the deck, and that's it. So in real time now, so you see the idea here is to get the 2 from being on the table to up here in my hand where the queen is. You ready? And that's it. Yeah, so the last move is I'm just putting the queen face down in this case and leaving the 2 face up. But I kind of risk kill a little bit, and I've got the interaction, the eye contact and the gesture to cover it. So I'll just run you through this again, because I know it's quite a lot to take in, but it's a pretty cool little trick. And it's something that might test you a little bit just to get the moves right. And there is one more move to come. But I think, hey, if you haven't got something to try and actually test you, then why do all self-working stuff is my point. You might as well have something to work towards. So, from the very beginning, I'm going to show you a 2, all right? And as I show it, I'm going to get the break. So, I turn over, goes on top. I slide my fingers in, squeeze, turn this card over the queen. I'm now going to deposit that as I push that extra card forward, drop it down, get another break and drop the 2 on top, pick up the card as 1, all right? I'm in this position, my ring finger is going to extend, so they see a 2, it extends as I come up, all right, so they see a 2 again, and now they see a 2 again. And now as I come down, I'm just going to let that roll, so now there's a queen. Okay, so you know what's going on now, and you should be able to follow this. I'm going to do it in real time so you can see it. Okay, so trick with a 2 of spades, watch the 2. Okay, as well as the 2, I have the queen of diamonds. The queen's going to go onto the table, that leaves the 2 in my hand, and the idea is to get the queen from the table to my hand. It happened very quickly, didn't it? Leaving now on the table the 2. Alright, so the last stage to this now is how do I switch out that card for the 2. This I absolutely love. So, I'm just going to set up, and we're going to run it to that point. There's the 2, there's the queen. Going to switch as I turn over, pick it up again as a double. They're going to see that twice. It then jumps to here, and now I'm going to display this as the 2. But this isn't the 2, it's the 8. And actually hidden behind this queen is the 2. Now, do you remember earlier on when we were doing the extension? So extending like that. It's kind of similar. I'm going to hold it here like this, and I'm going to use just one finger holding the deck. Use one finger just to keep that card. So I push down here on the card and it jumps up. Because the last thing you want to do is start trying to snag and then this card separate, right? So if we got overhead again on this, I've got 2 cards here. I push down here, so it very easily comes up, and I slide underneath, right? So here's what's going to happen. That then gets jammed in there into the thumb there like that, so you can just about see the 2 cards. My left hand's going to come over onto the top, and in theory, all I'm going to do is take away that top card and leave it on top of the deck. Okay, so that's all that my left hand really, or my left thumb is doing, sorry. It's going to come on top of here like this, and it's going to slide it off. Now at the same time, as soon as my hand comes over as cover, that right hand is going to extend those fingers, pushing that card from underneath. Okay, so we're here, I pick it up. Now the left hand, as well as stealing away that top card, because my fingers, so imagine that top card's not there, we're like this, because my fingers are underneath here, they're going to extend, which that thumb through the top card will be able to hold on and apply pressure to this card. Because what you're doing is you're stealing out the card from underneath here and you're placing it face up on the table. So there's two things happening here. Thing number one, this top card is sliding off onto the deck. And number two, you're stealing out this bottom card and placing it on the table, face up. When you link the two together, you get your switch. So I come here, I steal that top card, I push out that bottom card as my hand turns face up. So that top card is now on top of the deck. I'll show you again. I'm here, I'm here. This is what the switch looks like. Alright. I'm here. Top card is just going to get slid away on top of the deck. My fingers from underneath are going to grab this face card. Alright, so in real slow motion, I'm here. I'm here. So I'm going to out jog this so you can see what's happening. Yeah, this one's lining up with the deck. This one is getting placed on the table. Alright, it's a really nice switch, and you know, you're not being chased at this point, so really you're just displaying the card quite freely, and you're using the table and the pressure of the table to dislodge that card from your hand. So one last time here, I've got this top card. If I do this and I'm pulling out, in theory that card is now trapped underneath the top card, but by using the table, I'm just pushing down with my fingers on the table, and my thumb's kind of just sliding up, if that makes sense. So one last time. Alright, I'm going to set up, so I'm going to put Queen 8-2. I'm going to get a pinky break, slide up to the middle, turn over this top card. As I turn over now, I'm going to extend and push this card out, leaving it sticking out. Drop it on the table, bring the 2 back as I reposition this card. I didn't go over that. You reposition this card to give you a reasoning to put this card back onto the deck. Okay, so I move that one over from here over to here. I now pick this up, bottom right, top left, and as I come up towards you like this, I'm going to extend my ring finger. Then I'm going to extend my first finger as my thumb goes from bottom to top. Okay, so they've seen the 2. I now relax down like this, they now see the Queen. I pick it up like before in the center, keeping it tight. I come up, collect. My left hand's going to steal this top card onto the deck while pushing out the card beneath the Queen as I wrist kill and extend the fingers so that the fingers go from cold to straight, and that card will pop out. And there you have a really quick transposition, something which is a little more testing. There's a few slights in there, but I don't think this is beyond anyone. Just with a bit of practice, you probably already do a double lift, so there's nothing more there. Just getting that sort of angle right when you're showing the same side twice. Just do that in the mirror. That would be a lot easier to do if you can see it. And then yeah, that end switch, learn it because you'll take it and apply it to so much stuff. So there you have the quick slow transpo.
Hi guys, welcome along. My name's Andy Smith, and I thought I'd share something with you that is not a card trick. It's not a piece of mentalism either. This is a coin trick, and it's a coin trick that I've been doing for many years. What's great about it is the fact that if you're really in a position where someone says to you, do a trick, you haven't got a lot on you, all you need is 2 coins and you'll be able to do this trick. I found recently that actually when you've got people that are surrounding you and they're in a group, this is great. It can really be sold as almost like a mini illusion. Roll your sleeves up, take all your rings and your watch off, and then you're ready to go with just 2 coins. These are 20p pieces, and it might be worth just going to an overhead shot with this. So we have here 2 20p pieces. One of them will stay over here in my left hand, and one of them will stay over here in the right hand. All that's going to happen is I'm going to just create a little bit of distance, just a little bit of distance. That's probably about there. And all we have to do is wait. And yeah, that's the moment that it happens. One of the coins leaves the hand on the left, travels through the air, and lands over here on the right, just like that. And that is the Tenkai pennies. I first learned about this particular effect by watching the David Roth DVDs many years ago, and since that time I've looked at varying handlings, and if I remember correctly, in the David Roth version, he had a slightly different way of manoeuvring the coins across. And believe it or not, this works. It works best, I think, with smaller coins. You're setting up the conditions here, and the conditions are: there is really nothing else in my hand. I have no rings on, no watch on, my sleeves are rolled up. There is nothing here, just the 2 coins. The reason that I referred to it earlier on as a mini illusion is because you can genuinely sell this as a very clear effect. There is 1 coin here, there is 1 coin here. You close your hands, they're separated by a distance, and yet the coin travels across. The handling, I think, is fairly straightforward. Lots of people tend to be put off by using the Tenkai stroke Goshman pinch. I think it's purely because it just feels a little bit awkward, but once you play around with it a few times, it works really well. So mechanics wise, very simple. 2 coins. The coins need to be the same. I'm sure that there's variations out there where it uses the move but with different coins, but for this purpose the coins are going to be the same, and you're going to move sort of left to right, and this covers the action of the slide that you're going to do in a second. So before I get into it in the context of the routine, perhaps it's worth just me explaining the Goshman pinch first of all, the Tenkai pinch. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the coin, and what's going to happen is it's going to end up pinched between the little finger and the forefinger. I want to say ring finger. Yeah, ring finger. So it's pinched like this. Now, this may at first seem a little bit cramped. Obviously, there are angles that this is sensitive for. Hence the reason why I said earlier on that this is great for if you've got a group and they're surrounding you and they're looking down on your hand. If you were to go back to the overhead shot for me, you'll notice that, you know, mirroring wise, that looks pretty good. The hands look fairly natural, and the way that they should do. The fact that in a moment you're going to have a coin there as well also sells this. But you know, this is what we're aiming for. The coin doesn't stick out; it kind of rests. And if you notice that my pinky is actually very slightly over the back of this finger here, it's very slightly over the back, and that means that from this side, and you, even though it is angle sensitive, you get away with this quite well, especially with the smaller coins. You know, it kind of conforms to the lay of your hand. So this is a nice gesture, and even though this isn't hiding the coin, this kind of looks the same. So in the original, so to get into that position, let's have a look again into that position. So to get into it, you could do it a number of ways. You could push it through the fingers. I always find this a bit cumbersome. It's kind of awkward. There's no real way of getting it in there securely and quickly. To my mind, it doesn't look like a lot of messing around and sort of like finger movement. So the easiest way, and I think I forget exactly who explored this way of getting it in. This may be the actual way that Goshman put it into Tenkai pinch, is to place your thumb onto the coin like this, and and then what's going to happen is these fingers are going to curl into a fist, but my thumb is going to remain on that coin. So what it's doing is it's pushing it round the back of the hand, all the way round the back of the knuckle like this, until it reaches that point there where this finger can grab it. And then it takes hold of it. If I now extend the fingers, that has now gone into pinch. So it's here, and then extend. Okay. You can retrieve it exactly the same way. Retrieving it with a smaller coin is slightly harder than with a larger coin, but the principle remains the same. Here, extend, and then reverse, thumb on, and then pull back. So you'll just, in fact, this is a great way of practicing getting into this. So you're going to push it from here, tips of the fingers round the back of the knuckles, down, this grasps here, and then you extend the fingers. Okay, so that's putting it into Gossamer pinch. Now the thing is that if I just went and did that, yeah, I guess that if you did it fast enough, it would kind of blur, you wouldn't see the motion. But the whole fact that you're cramping the hand up and it just looks weird. But it feels totally natural in the context of doing what you're about to do. So in the context of the routine, I'm going to show 2 20p pieces, 2 pennies, 2 10p pieces, 2 2p's, whatever you're using, 2 coins. This one is going to just go to the sort of base of the index finger, just about here. Okay, and because I'm going to Tenkai palm in, Tenkai pinch in my right hand, what's going to happen is as I turn my body very slightly to the left, I need to point to this coin. Okay, now in that action, I can push this up. So as my hand turns in, it pushes this round into that Gossamer pinch position as I point. Okay, so I'm showing 2 coins. Okay, and if we can have a look at that over the overhead, 2 coins like this. This one gets flipped over to this this part. As I turn my body, this goes into Gossamer pinch as I point, and I say there's 1 on my left. Now in the original Tenkai pennies, what would happen is you would, and it actually used the Gossamer pinch. When you would do the routine, you would drag this coin here, and then your fingers would curl in and then drag it on this side as well. So it looked like you were turning over a coin here. Oh, sorry, a coin here, and then a coin here like this. Jay Sankey had this brilliant idea of what he called the pointing transfer. The pointing transfer is literally, as it explains, it accomplishes the same move, but you're going to do it in the action of a point. So point at this coin. Remember, this coin here is in Gossamer pinch. Point. Then what's going to happen is my finger's going to curl as this hand curls like this, and then as this hand opens out, this finger and this thumb go onto the coin and they put it there and they point. So in action, what you have is you have point, point. So it looks like the same coin, but actually you're just taking this coin and you're transferring over to here as you point. So up to speed, here we have a coin on the left and here we have a coin on the right. And of course we have this coin now that is also hidden here. You've got a couple of options now. What I like to do if my hands are filling up to it is this coin generally ends up more towards the fingertips. So now, if it depending on the size of the coin, I can classic palm this and retrieve the one that's in Gossamer pinch, and then with a little bit of what's known as the cap subtlety, i.e. the lower base of the thumb here covering that coin, I can close the hand, and then you get this nice moment where the coin jumps across. Or when you're here and you've done the pointing transfer, so coin on my left, coin on my right, rather than me classic palming that coin and retrieving the other one, I can just turn my hand in, and then my fingers just prevent that from talking until I want the coins to talk, to signify the moment of magic. This hand gets a little bit distant. I've had people hold on to my wrists and then there we go, the coin has travelled across. So just a quick thing about the point and transfer. You don't want to necessarily make this fast so much as smooth. Here we have a coin. You don't want to necessarily do this, too quickly. You just want it to be smooth. Here we have there's a coin on my left and a coin on my right. Okay, that's it. So it's a neat move to play around with. If you like the idea of the coins going across, an offshoot of this is if someone says, "Oh yeah, do it again." Okay, yeah, we can do it again. And you want to time this with the moment where you're actually putting the coins away, but you come out with what they think are 2 coins, but actually 1, and you just put 1 into this hand and pretend to hold on to the other one, so you have nothing here. Yeah. So now you can say, look, we have 1 coin here, 1 coin here. Very fairly show it backwards and forwards. Yeah. And then if you're adept at sleeving, or if you can lap, you can hold this coin in here. Sleeve it, or lap it, or whatever, and now you've got a double vanish as well, just for the sake of doing just this one kind of point and transfer thing. You can do this and show your hands empty, or whatever you want to do, but there are options for using this move as well. So that is it pretty much. That is the Tenkai pennies, or a version of it. I recommend that have a look at it and explore it. There's other people that have work on this, and the use of the point and transfer and the Gossamer pinch. People like Jay Sankey, as an example, straight away David Roth. So it's worth checking out, and really sell it as an idea of 2 coins, 2 hands. Nothing else, no sleeves, nothing here. Get them to hold onto your wrist, get people gathered in. It is a mini illusion. The coin, 2 coins in 2 different places become 2 coins in 1 place, very fairly, very freely, and across distance as well. So I hope you like it. I hope you also have had a very lovely Christmas. And here is to a very prosperous 2018.
Right, so this is my second effect for you for Christmas, and it's a really nice little Christmas themed one, but you can use this. You'll know that both of my tricks you can adapt to any theme anyway. So all I do, this is my take on Cole Fool's Gemini Mates, which is a very popular trick, but it's a real layperson pleaser. All I do with these 2 blank cards, on one of the cards I write Merry, and on the other one I write Happy. But I don't show the faces of these cards, and they go down. So we have Merry on top, Happy at the bottom. And on the bottom of the deck, this is a blank face deck. Let me just remove these. This is a blank face deck, but on the bottom I've written Christmas, and on the top card I've written New Year. So we got Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. So you just hand your spectator the deck. You can give the deck a shuffle. Remember, retain the bottom and the top card, and you don't want to break them too much. You don't want them to see that they're blank. Hand them the deck and have them deal a pile onto the table and stop wherever they like. Now what's going to happen is the top card is going to be the first card dealt, and they're going to deal cards onto the table. They're going to stop wherever they like. So we'll stop there. You now take the top card, which says Merry, place it on top, don't show them, and you get them to drop the rest of the cards on top of this pile. Now you're actually dropping the word Christmas on top of Merry. Now you ask the second spectator or the same spectator to pick the cards up again and repeat the process. So now they're going to deal. Now remember, because the first card dealt the first time was New Year, that's going to be on the bottom of the deck. So they deal down here. They can stop wherever they like. This card goes on as a marker. They go on top. Now the great thing is, if you spread the deck like so, What you need to do is you need to spot the blanks, and you need to take the card above, not the card below, the card above. So all you do is you draw those towards yourself, like so, and place them down as a pair. Split the deck, take them out, place them down as a pair, collect up the rest, and just leave them here for your final kicker. And you say, now, you could have stopped anywhere, but the marker card I used said Merry, and the card you stopped on was Christmas. Merry Christmas. The card we marked with was Happy, and we have New Year. And I know what you're thinking, maybe every card said Happy, Merry, Christmas, New Year. In fact, every other card is blank. So that is my Christmas Gemini, and I really hope you enjoy it.